Attention! All training maps mentioned herein are subject to change over time. Zelkova trains in these maps on 2x and is funded. Your training results may differ from Zelkova's.
Hey everybody, back again with another training guide. This is slightly updated and I'm going to record it while I'm actually training my character. It's going to have a couple alternative maps to train in, and it should be, it has a couple extra maps that have been added in since my last training guide in February. So it should be pretty much the same, but with a couple extra maps thrown in here or there that will help you train. I might even include my KMS maps, depending. So let's get going. Starting off with your newbie levels, this depends character to character, but usually you can do the beginner's quests, or if you have the option to, you can go directly to Victoria or whatever and just, train on the level mushies or shrooms or snails. They're pretty basic, everybody should know them. After that, go get your job advancement, we'll continue on from there. If you're between level 10 to level, I don't know, I'd probably say about 20 or so, or 18, this map right here is pretty good as long as you're, well, I'm pretty sure everybody can hit. I've only missed a couple times, but it's pretty good experience. I think it's a relatively new map. I didn't see it before, and since they've changed blue ribbon pigs in the past couple months, I like this map better. Keep in mind that you're going to miss a little bit. They're level 24, and I'm level 13. But you should hit enough to the point where you can actually kill them pretty well. If you absolutely cannot handle it here, you can easily go back to, there's a starfish map, the yellow starfish map before this. And if that's too bad, you can go way back to the blue ribbon pigs. Those are the worst case scenario. Now once you hit level 18, you can go ahead and go to your job instructor. It works for all classes. It should be, even if you're a battle mage, you should be able to go to Grendel, etc., etc. Go to the job instructor. They have a quest for you at level 18. And it's a battle with some sort of boss, alright? So she gives you the ability to go there. And, as you talk to your job instructor, you find your demon's doorway, which is listed in the quest. You go on in, as long as you're a job that's accepted, whatever, you're a bowman, whatever. You should be able to go into the doorway. You can't have an insider item as well. Nah, I got rid of that part. But as soon as you go into this map right here, there's a boss. It's a little bit difficult for your level. I'm funded, so I can kill it pretty quickly. So you kill your boss, and you head back to Hennessy's or wherever you're from. I gotta go back to the Athena Pierce, so 1 second. And once you get back to your instructor, you finish up the quest, and it should be 2 immediate levels, as well as you get this nice little hat. It's 2, but it leaves you off at 99.9%. Keep in mind that I'm on 2x, but even though I'm on 2x, you should be able to get 2 straight levels from it no matter what. Now after you get your helmet, for level 20 to 30, I usually stay here at Mixed Golems. Although there are a couple other maps in the golem area. There's flaming golems and icy golems. If you want to train on one of those are great. But the thing about this map that makes it really unique from the other ones, from what I can tell anyway, is that you have full control of the spawn. It's shaped like a pyramid, so you can easily work your way down, and then there's a warp that goes all the way back up, and you can start from the top again. It's pretty nice for quick leveling, especially if an AoE like me at this level. It's kind of loud though if you do multiple kills. But yeah, 20 to 30 here, not too bad, pretty easy, and it's a mini dungeon, so you don't have to fight for a room. Finally, you're level 30. Go get your job advancement. Now, once you're level 30, you want to go to Kerning City Square, or called Kerning Square. If you're not really funded, you can probably pull off Lobatees. They're not too terribly difficult. They come in large groups of mobs, and nobody really trains here that much, and even if they do, you have 4 maps or 5 maps to choose from. But if you are funded, you can go up a couple levels. Couple more. If you're moderately funded, you can probably pull off this map at level 30. nobody trains here. I've yet to see somebody actually seriously train here. I might stop by and kill a couple for a quest or whatever, but nobody really trains here at all. This is actually my training map in KMS, JMS, and GMS, so it's not too bad. Especially if CDs are packed, you can definitely come here. Now, if you are funded, or you're level 35, you can come to this map right here. I usually stay here until level 45, 43, 45, depending. It definitely starts getting slower and slower the higher you go, so probably 43 is when I leave, but if you're not really funded, you probably leave at 45. Alright, for my level 45 to 55-ish training area, it's the smaller map of Jesters. I'm going to show you how to get there right now. I'm in the foyer, whatever you want to call it. Take this door, you probably saw me in the mini-map. And all it is just the top right door, right here. And here we are. It comes with 4 Jesters. It's a little busy, but it's not too bad. And guys, I know everybody complains over, you know, being here at 45 is insane or whatever, but I can find nowhere else is better than this at level 45. You can't beat it. Alright, and my alternative map for levels at the extreme 45 to 55 is male desert sand bunnies. Or you guys hear they're called they're desert rabbits. I use this map in KMS as well. It's not too shabby, flat map. Most classes will pretty much enjoy it, especially if an AoE like this class. So yeah, they're not too bad on experience. They're less than Jesters for sure, but if you can't get a map, this is pretty much where you can go, and I've yet to see many people train here in GMS. And my training map for level 55 to, I'd like to say 60, as long as you got pretty okay on funds and damage and don't mind the extra damage from these rather than Jesters, is sand rats. They're becoming more and more populated, and in KMS they're very populated, but yeah, they're not too bad. They're an alternative to Jesters for sure. Once you hit level 60, you can come to the next map to the right from Sand Rats that has Sand Rats and Scorpions. It's far more packed with monsters than the other one, and it's still flat. If you're funded, you could probably come here earlier, probably close to, I don't know, I'd like to say 58 or so if you're really funded. But this map right here is good for 60 to 70 if you're not exactly the most strongest person in the game. But if you are funded, I'll give you an alternative. If you're funded, you can come up here to this map right here. This is the Dark Sand Dwarf map. And what makes it different from the other one, what makes it better, is that these Dark Sand Dwarfs, the hobos, they have quite a bit more experience they can give you. It's not that much, but an upside is that the map is smaller, it's still flat, and the spawn's pretty high. So you can definitely come over here and train if you're funded and whatnot. This map right here is still good to level 70. I personally leave it at 64. Now once you're 64, I choose 64. If you're level 70, this is good enough for you as well. I would say go ahead and go to Roids. They're level 88. They are you get a nice big flat map. The downside to it is that sometimes a security camera spawns in it. It makes it difficult to train in a little bit with that security camera. It's got quite a bit of health, and hopefully it will spawn, so I can't really say hopefully it won't spawn. But if these are too busy for you, or they're too strong for you, I can go take you to my alternative map. My alternative map for this level range, 64 to 70, if you're going to train in this area, is Iron Mutes. They've got a pretty flat map, pretty good spawn. It's a little bit too wide, I think, so the spawn's really like spread apart, but for the most part it's pretty darn okay. I'd only ever go here if I'm in KMS or everybody's too busy and too crowded in my training maps usually, or if the roids are just plain full. And in addition to the previous maps I've spoken of, the roids and the Iron Mutes, this map is for higher levels, probably level 70 at least, because it includes Neo-Huroids, which are kind of difficult to train on. But this map is very large, very popular in all versions of the game that I've seen. And I don't know. It's if you find an empty one, I'd suggest you go do it and train. I'm actually KSing some poor guy right now just on accident while I'm recording this, so I'll get out of here. For level 70 to, I don't know, sometimes I say up to 110, depending on my current situation. Probably at the very least, level 70 to level 90, you can go to MP3 as long as you're a little funded. Maybe it's level 75, and then at that point, if you're not really funded. And if you're lucky, you can share a map with somebody. If you're really lucky, you can take the whole map to yourself. It depends on the time of the day and whatnot, and a whole bunch of factors. But these maps are very large, there's lots of mobs, and the very worst case, you can go inside this ship over here, and there are a lot of little maps that have the same mobs just in smaller quantities, and they're rarely ever taken. I'd also like to note that even though I'm 70 and these mobs are like 90, you can still hit them at a pretty good rate. I'll guarantee you at level 70 you cannot hit them 100%, but as long as you got a little bit of, like, I'd like to say funding, but you know, as long as you're at least 70, you should be able to do okay damage. They don't have that much health. They've got like 50k, 60k, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but it's not that much. At the very worst case, you can just take the bottom platform. I like to take the top two. I never really share three per se. I always just take the top two. Alright, when you hit level 90, you can easily go ahead and go to NLC. You can go and do the quest line for you to be accepted into the alien base. Now that starts with Iceberg Slim. Just follow through the quest line and eventually lets you go into the alien base. This is Alien Base Quarter 5. It's a new map that came out since my last training guide. And it gives you some amazing experience. It gives you 3,000 experience per kill. I'm lucky enough at this point right now for me to get a map that does not have any hackers in it and it's not taken. I was extremely lucky. I came here on my Phantom when I was training it and they were completely full of hackers. So yeah, I'm just lucky right now. It's kind of well traversed, and I feel like it'd be bad of me to say that it would be if they were full of hackers, I'd feel bad if I would tell you to go do the quest line, because it's kind of long to do the quest line, but definitely you should try out here. You can easily do level 90 to level 120 if you really wanted to, but I'd suggest 120 somewhere else, or 110 somewhere else. One of the best known alternatives, not that it's a good thing, is best known, but alternatives to MP3 and to aliens is captains and crews. As you can see, this random guy just magically showed up here. So it's pretty well known. It's very good for classes like archers that have a very large AoE, because you can hit both platforms. I know for a fact that phantoms and third job can hit both platforms as well. But worst case scenario, you can always come here. Even if all these maps are taken, there's a mini dungeon right here full of nothing but captains. They're captains, the blue-hatted ones. And they drop chaos scrolls and stuff like that, so they're actually not bad for money also if you're, you know, kind of hunting for it. So yeah, this is good for levels, I don't know, I'd probably say 90 to 110. I've definitely done 90 to 110 here before. But yeah. Finally, you're 110. I don't know how you got here. If you follow my guide, you probably ended up doing aliens or captains and crews, and at worst, you did MP3. But when you get to 110, I definitely suggest going straight to Crocky's at LHC. You head there by going to El Nath, you go to Sharpcliff 4, and there's a side portal over here on the left side, and it takes you directly into Desolate Moor. They've recently implemented that you must do the quest line for you to traverse through all the maps with all the mobs in it, but these maps are party play, meaning that if you play in a party with, if you are training in a party with 6 people, you'll get much more experience than you would normally. You get 50% experience per person in your party, so I don't want to do the math because I know I'm going to get yelled at. I'd like to say 300%, but who knows, maybe it's just 250. But HS, that, even 2x, yeah, it makes it so easy to just train here. The mobs have quite a bit of health, is the thing. The mobs, I think Crocky's have like between 9 and 11k, I don't remember off the top of my head. But as you can see, we're going to a random map, and it's a small party, but there's a party here. There's 5 people. But yeah, they've got a lot of health, so it's not easy for you just flat out solo, especially if you're not funded. But yeah, if you want to continue on down these maps, you have to get to a high level. Crockies, the minimum requirement for you to train on these is 110. I think Blood Deers is 115, and I'm pretty sure that Barrels is 117. But you have to collect a lot of equips, etc. drops, and you have to do a lot of quests to even get there. So you'll probably be stuck at Crockies for a little while unless you pay your way out. And don't think I've forgotten about you guys that are level 165. Now, the reason why I say 165 and not 160 is because despite being able to go into Stronghold at 160, what most people train on are these. The Official Night Bees. They're level 170. And you have to be level 165 to be able to leech experience off of them. And you have to be even higher to actually be able to kill them efficiently. Now, this character has been stripped for a very long time, so his damage isn't anywhere near as good as it used to be. But even if I show you right now, you can barely touch those guys. But yeah, that's where I train usually from level 165 to 200. LHC is pretty good, but you know, it really starts slacking and getting worse and worse the higher you go. But Stronghold seems to really hold out. And I also heard that a different map down here towards the very end is even better than the rest of them. But like I said, I never train there. I usually train at the right here, the Official Night Bees. Alright guys, that's the end of my training guide. Now, please remember that I train on 2x almost always. I have a bit of funding, and it might not be percentage based, but I have attack gear and stuff like that, duped gear. I take advantage of that, and I train with that always. So these are the maps I always use whenever I'm training on 2x and trying to get a character to 120 in X amount of hours. These are the maps I always tell my friends to train in. They're tried and true. You might say that gestures are too hard at 45, and that might be too hard for you. But more often than not, if you have a little bit of funding, you can pull it off. The misses are worth it, and you get more experience than you would anywhere else, especially on 2x, 4x, whatever. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing over the past year. I'm almost up to a whole year of doing videos on YouTube, so consistently. But yeah, thank you once again. Enjoy the guide. If you have any comments or questions, please add them below. I'm sure in 2 months' time, 3 months' time, there'll be new maps and you'll ask for another one. So, for right now, I hope this is good enough. And thank you. We'll see you later.